Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and today is Tuesday, August 13th. And I'm going to be kicking off, I think this may be like week 7, 8. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to go back and look at my videos. So I haven't done my wrap-up video for last week yet. I need to get that up, but I can tell you that it's been really weird. I've had days where I had like 7 or 8 sales in one day, and then I've had days with nothing. I have been getting listings on very consistently, and I believe I showed in the last video the haul that I made from a moving sale, and there was a bunch of what I thought was going to be like mice and cheese figures, and there was a ton of these cat figures in there, and I wound up with like, oh my God, I grouped up one whole lot that had like 15 of them in there. And could I have parted them out? Maybe. I'm getting to that point where I just need to get through some volume because I'm trying my best to not create a death pile. My death pile is really the stuff that's my personal stuff and the business stuff. And that's like one of the focuses I have to get into this week because my husband and my son are really trying to get like our basement organized, and my son wants to use it like for like our personal use. And it's not that bad. If I really stuck to it, I probably could get through it like in 2 weeks maybe. But the problem is you get these opportunities to buy, and that's the thing I have coming up this week is I have an opportunity to go into an estate sale and go in like ahead of the competition. Like, so I'm really excited. I've been making it a point to get to I've been to 3 estate sales. I went to one on Sunday, and it's all been the same company, and I've been kind of really happy. I'm noticing that the guy that's running it, he's got like the gift of PSN, because I'm thinking like I'm building this rapport, and I think I am, but I can tell he's kind of that way with everybody. But I did call today, and he did extend the offer, so I'm assuming this is something, if you pursue it with anybody doing it, he may. So I'm going to make it a point. He said I could come tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, or they would be better organized for Thursday, because he said the house was just a real blank show. So I did see some pictures that they took, and there is quite a few things I've identified already that I want to go get. So I don't think I want to wait. I think I'm going to go do this tomorrow. But I promised myself the only way I'm going to go is if I deal with the stuff I bought his estate sale on Sunday. And I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to go get what I got for my estate sale. I'll be right back. Okay, so I didn't get a lot. My intent, like I said, to go there was to kind of keep building this rapport. And the other thing was, I wanted to nail down, because I knew they told me that this estate sale coming up in this week was going to be like good. I'm really getting to the point where I realize that I enjoy the estate sales and the yard sales more than I do like the thrift stores. I think I'm going to focus from now till as long as I can. Like I said, our business has been picking up. I spent not quite a bit of time today, but I had several phone calls. Like I said, today is the 13th of August, and truthfully, by this point, I've had a lot of vendors like track me down in the daylight with a flashlight, trying to get shipments out the door to me. And this year, when I'm finally ready, they're like dragging their feet on their own. So having said all that, I think I'm going to focus just in those 2 niches for as long as I can. I have another gentleman that I had gotten some contact with that was cleaning out storage units, and I haven't heard from him. So I think it's time I may contact him again and just like, hey, you got anything? But I'm also realizing that my value to these people is you want to take the stuff that they seem as problematic, meaning that they don't have like a huge market for and stuff. I don't want to just be the next buyer of the same things that they've already got, everybody wants. So my niche is really, always has been kid and baby. Christmas is definitely, and holiday is one. I do like to do crafts, and I think I see in one of the pictures some craft kits at this one that, like I said, I'm going to text him for to go tomorrow. So these are commonplace things that I think, you can regularly find at sales, and you're not going to have tons of competition for. So this past week, I'll show you what I got. I went there, there was a Pampered Chef wok that was still in the box that looked like it was selling for about 130, but the problem was the ones that were selling really well were these like hex ones, and somebody had a box in theirs and it said 10-inch non-stick wok or something to that degree. And this one had the same writing, but it didn't have the 10-inch in front of it, and the handle kind of came up and it made like half a rectangle, and the top part of it had this like black on it. And I don't know if that was packaging or what, but I couldn't find any of the other ones online that had this like black section at the top of the handle. It looked like it may have been like silicone or something, like maybe to not, burn you or give heat off. So I couldn't find anything like that on eBay. And when I got there, I was first in line, and I made a point to get there early because I wasn't sure after the last yard sale if those same groups of ladies were going to be there. The one that I got, like mentioned with the canister set in the past video. So I wasn't sure if those ladies were going to be there, and none of them were. So the problem I'm finding with this group that does this estate sale is I got there and I was at the front door, and I found the house online again. I mentioned, like, in the recommendations of how to, do your research for this. So I kind of had everything laid out. I got there early. I did a walk around the house because there was a lot of stuff that they were selling from outside. So I didn't feel like kind of weird, trying to look around outside. And I even got the idea, like, maybe I should look in the back door because I could tell there was like a back deck off of it. Like maybe I could kind of recon before people got there, and that didn't work out because they apparently had like a sunroom with a bunch of cats in it still that was between the actual house part and the decking, and I couldn't see it. And I was like, oh. But the cats looked happy to see some company. I wish I could, pet them or something because they were getting all excited that people were there. But anyway, so that didn't work out. But I got there, and when I got there first, got over there, they wanted $60 for this wok, and I was like, I can't do it. I don't know exactly which one it was, and I'd already gone through the lookups. There was nothing further that I was getting out of having it in hand that I would have needed a lot more time for. And there was that, and there was this little sliver in a picture of something that was Christmas that I know from going to these merchandise marts and all. I thought it was Mackenzie Childs, and that I never found at all in the sale. And then one of his pictures had where they built like a shelf in the garage above the automatic garage door openers that came up, and they had a bunch of stuff up there that was Christmas, and there was like some figures like for the outdoor furniture and then tubs of stuff, and I was like, oh, I want to see that stuff. If and where they moved that, I have no idea. So it was, again, I wonder if somebody pre-shopped this estate sale. So here's what I got. I started to say one of the problems was I'm waiting at the front door, and then he opens the garage because he puts his sign up in the opening of the garage doors, and they had stuff out, and I'm like, what is it? Oh, the other thing I wanted, and it's in here, I'll tell you when I get to it. Luckily I went down and I looked in the garage first. I found these Matryoshka dolls, and there's 5 of them, which most of them have 4. But my problem was, in my rush to get around the edge of this one table, I dropped these. So there is some missing paint on the top of this. Oh, sorry. And then I really damaged this one, the third one. There's a bunch of paint off his front. So my $3 purchase, I wasn't going to put it down, really did not pan out. So I'm going to keep these for myself. Actually, no, I lied. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And like I said, most of them don't have a ton. And this is kind of like a weird, like that just doesn't fit. But I know it's part of the set. So the rest of them all look like Santa. I guess it's supposed to be the toy, maybe. He kind of looks weird, don't he? I don't know. So yeah, I have one for myself already that I kind of like to do the different, unusual, and I have one that's like pyramid shaped, and I guess I have another one now. Because like I said, I don't know. I'll look it up. I don't think I got it for $3. I don't think it's going to be a bunch of value to it. So when I left, I got this stuff in the garage, and then I was back at the front. I had to go back to the front door to get let back in. Went over, got to the kitchen, and there was a couple coffee mugs that looked interesting. And then when I got there, they were the most generic stuff. I mean, this was a beautiful 5-bedroom house. I think it was like a 3.5 bath. They had a full finished basement that was really, really nice. They had a whole built-in bar to it and everything. This thing sold, the house was listed for, I think, $565, and it's already pending. So it's a beautiful home, but the stuff was just so generic as far as the dishware and everything. So I wasn't really excited about that. And when I saw, like, she had a bunch of the nonstick regular pans for Pampered Chef, but they were scratched up. I mean, the stuff was well used at this house, stuff stained and everything else. So I didn't spend a ton of time in there. And then I went into what was like, I wasn't sure what to expect, but this is one where they had the sliver of what I thought was this Mackenzie Child, like Santa elf. And I got in there, and then I found a bunch of this in a desk drawer. And I had just, in my time of a couple videos back, I did the 95 house yard sale in Lancaster, and somebody had the Mr. Christmas. It was like a trinket box. One was a Santa and one was a dog house. And I've sold the snowman already. But in my research, I found that there were these eggs that he did. Problem with this, I don't know if you can hear that. I think they're supposed to play music, and the batteries are dead on all of these. I wound up getting 10 different ones. I'm gonna lot them up to sell because they're all basically about like a $10 item. Some of them may sell for 20, but it wasn't that exciting. I have to be quick. I just saw my husband pull up. The other thing I found, he's probably gonna kill me for this, were these really cute crystal, there's an angel in there, but they're gonna have to be really bubble wrapped inside so that this doesn't bounce around. This, I think, may be plastic. So I have 3 of them. I'm expecting I'll probably put them up for maybe 20 bucks. I don't expect a lot. So I have a total of 10 of the eggs, 3 of those. I did find these in the kitchen. Seemed a little different to me, you know? I don't think they were part of a nativity. I don't know. But they're wood. So they just seem cute. We'll see. And then here was the item in the garage that I was kind of shocked that it is selling for as much as it is. It's this rock and roll Santa. So we shall see. That was the other item I was trying to get to when I dropped the Matryoshka doll ones. And then the last thing I found was there was a room in the front. There wasn't a ton of stuff in any of the rooms. There were these, they look almost brand new. Like the only way I can tell they were ever worn is there's a couple of things of rock in the tread, and there's like some fur on the inside. These were selling for about $70. The box has some stain on it, but other than that, I paid $15. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't even say it was $15 because when I got to pay, the ornaments didn't have pricing on it, and neither did the camels. So he said to me, and I had a little saucepan I got for a friend of mine. And he said, well, how about we do 40 for everything? And I said, okay, that sounds fine, because it was 10 just between this Santa and the Matryoshka doll. And the ornaments, like I said, I got 10 of those. So, you know, for the rest of it, I thought it was going to be fair. And then he wound up bringing me up for 30. And he's like, well, I guess you're paying 30. I was like, yes, I am. Thank you. So I paid 30 for everything, and then I bought the shoes. I forgot I had put a sold tag on them, and I went back and got them. So I paid $45 for all of this, and the Rock and Roll Santa, from what I remember, they were selling for like 40. I expect I'm gonna sell the eggs for probably at least 60 because I want to just blow them out. And I don't know if I may have some batteries or may not. Like I said, they seem like they want to play. I think it's a battery issue. I'm probably gonna put the other up for 20, and I'll probably put these up for like 22. So you're looking at the $30 is going to go for 40, 100. So I'm going to have 140 probably coming back from my $30 investment. And then the shoes I paid 15 and they're selling for 70. So not too bad. That was my, and like I said, and then I got to touch base with the guys. So I will be back after I get to the estate sale tomorrow and I'll tell you how that went. So now it is Wednesday, August 15th, and what a phenomenal day I had it yesterday. I went to the house. So I'll give you a little bit of a backstory on it. Was I probably should have done some more research because I admit I'm a Starbucks girl. I have to have my Starbucks. I understand it's, an addiction. I understand people think that, it's very bougie or whatever the term is. But, I don't know. I'm addicted. I'll admit it. Okay. I admit it. So I didn't plan my day out because this town was like kind of one that's known for being like a shore destination somewhat. I thought they'd have a Starbucks and I kind of really messed myself up because I got discombobulated. I didn't realize that the one I was trying to get to was past the town, like 10 minutes past town. I'm telling you, I was a mess. So I finally got there and, so let me back up. I come from a family where we were very much tradespeople. My one grandfather was an electrician. The other one was a plumber. My dad was a carpenter. My mother could sew anything. I'm telling you, this woman has reupholstered couches and chairs. I had her make my wedding dress. She's made people's whole nursery bedding and stuff. My mother is a phenom with a sewing machine. I'll just say that. So you learn, especially I have Italian heritage, that, everything revolves around food. It is a reality, seriously. You learn that, old school was you were hospitable to the people coming to your house and doing work and trades. That, you were appreciative that they were coming. You wanted to have that hospitality because they were in your home. So this is one of the things, and I love to bake. So I've just learned that, I baked some oatmeal cookies and I took them with me as a sign of I'm very appreciative that you're allowing me into this situation of shopping before everybody else. And, I have to understand that when I'm going to these places, I don't know what the relationship is between the people holding the estate sale and the people whose home it is, because estate sales aren't just like a death. It could be somebody downsizing, moving, going to assisted living, an abandoned home. Maybe it's the landlord had to evict somebody. You don't know what the attachment to this is. So, I wanted to show that level of appreciation of giving me that blessing is the only way I can say it. And, when you love to bake, you like to share in the bounty, basically. And, I need to do some sharing. So I pull up to this house and it was in what looked to be maybe a 55 and over group. They were, smaller, almost like the double wide home community where they're all ranchers, small yards, low maintenance. And, I just say that because I don't know how I would have felt trying to do this sale. It doesn't happen till tomorrow. I don't know how I would have felt trying to do this sale with a bunch of competition around me. I had to get leg reconstructive surgery in 2022. No, it was late 2021. I dealt with the recuperation through 2022. I don't pivot well. I don't deal with people close by because I don't have the level of mobility to pivot around and get, around people. So, the community, like I said, there's small yards and everything, and you have to be respectful of the neighbors because you don't want to be parking and pissing them off, So it was great because when I got there, there was a car or two in the driveway, car or two in the front. I could pull up. I was kind of close by. You could tell that they had been working because there was a couple things out at the curb. There was a couple things that got on this front porch and stuff. And I could hear some conversation going on in the garage. And I mentioned earlier in this video how I want to be identified to be in a certain niche. And it's not an ego thing. I want to be that person that's that solution to what am I going to do with. This is Kristen. This is, I want that to be, I worked for 17 years in the New Jersey judiciary, and I ran a team that dealt with warrants and stuff. So I had to understand what everybody's place and role was. I had to understand what my role was and allow other people to do their roles and be able to keep things flowing. I had time deadlines and things constantly. And I say all that because I hate people that waste my time. I hate people who waste my time more than I hate people who waste my money. I mean, I'm going to tell you that sounds a little odd, but money is infinite. Time is not. There is a definite beginning and end to all of our lives. And I hate that. I just don't want people wasting my time. And I'm a person who's constantly always trying to figure out where and how to get through a bottleneck of stuff. And I just had that incident in our personal business right this past week where there was, a delay in my shipments coming in. And, I should have had this shipment last month. And I just was talking to a vendor, and it's like, what do I need to do? I can't control everything out there, but what can I control about myself? And I say this in applying it to this situation because my gesture of my cookies was there as a, recognition to them to let them know that I appreciate them allowing me into this space. In this instance, when you're going to an estate sale, they are the host. They are the people representative of whomever stuff this is. And I say that, I understand, I want to know what the roles are, because when I got there was a couple loading up a bunch of these books in this minivan, and I forgot that he did mention there was a bunch of books at this sale. And the couple that were there, when I got conversating with them, they mentioned, he introduced us, and I said, I guess you resell books. I'm familiar with there being the booksellers, as they're called, because when Amazon first got started, I had mentioned before, is I was there. I was in from the ground up, because I say Amazon paid me to be in it, but I was in the beta part of it where, when you used the FBA, they gave you back all of your fees for a limited time. And so I did that. I've done the book sales. I've done the, library book sales. I've gone to the yard sale. So I bought all the DVDs and the CDs and stuff. And I've done all that. And it just isn't exciting to me. But I understand the mentality of people that want to do that. So when they were there, I'm like, is this what your niche is? And they confirmed it. And I was like, great. So I have to remember now where my role is. My role to these people holding the estate sale is I have to solve problems for them, and they have a solution when they come across volume media products now. So I'm not interested in that. Matter of fact, there was a couple things I came across that was in that kind of fine line of, do you want this? And I offered it to them, and truthfully, they had so much, they were going to have to make another trip because they had just overloaded this minivan so much with what they were taking. They said, well, just put it over there if you have no interest. And truthfully, I really didn't. It was like craft books and stuff that I don't really know enough about. And truthfully, I like to do crafting, but this was 1980s, instruction manual stuff on knitting a blanket or something. And I'm like, I don't know enough to even, no, I don't need it. Here, put it in your pile. There was another gentleman that was there. Honestly, I don't know. He introduced me to him, but I don't know what his specialty was. So I want it to be, kids craft Christmas. Kristen solves kids craft Christmas. that's what I like to do, and that's where I need to just keep staying and focusing there. I did look at some of the houseware stuff that may, be a good viable not just those three things, but that may be in addition. I can do those. But when I got there, it was also nice because I could have a good conversation with him and his wife. At the estate sales, it's too busy. You're too running around. I'm on this sprint to try and grab stuff. They're ringing people up. They're trying to make sure people aren't stealing stuff. I mean, as sad as that may be, that yes, it's a reality. So this was nice. We could get this conversation, talk, get to know each other a little bit more personal. So it was a great experience. The pictures she put online showed some vintage toys, and I was like, I really kind of want to get those. And I found them in the garage right away, and the garage was it was packed. I mean, packed. These people were just like putting in a corner, and just like built themselves out. They had gotten through a lot, I will tell you, by the time I had gotten there. But I got some great stuff. I will show you that in a minute. But I do that a lot. Sorry. And so I made it a point to let the people running the estate sale know that, I really appreciated being there. They let me know that, pricing was fluid. Just, we would talk about it as we went along. I was happy to see that she wasn't trying. She had gone and taken some pictures, his wife, the one evening, and posted this past week. And I was happy to see that she wasn't going to exclude those things from my purchasing, because, that's going to leave a little bit of a bad taste when people do show up. But I wasn't sure how she was going to view that, if that was, going to be accessible. And she said, like, whatever you want, just put it together. We'll talk about pricing. And they were very, very fluid with the pricing. So I will show you in a second what I've got. So here is my haul. This was all $150. This is what I leave in my car to put for organizational, my bags and stuff like that, my shopping bags. So to go through this, I got this vintage strawberry shortcake house. There is a boatload of strawberry shortcake in here. There is like a 3 to 4 foot tall dollhouse that I saw in the pictures, as well as this. And the dollhouse sells for a lot of money, but I didn't realize it was so big. It was easily 3 to 4 feet tall. And I think Barbie dream house here. I think my husband would have divorced me if I brought that home. I didn't realize I probably could have parted it out. I probably should have, but I got tons of pieces in here that are like the outfits and the furniture. This here is a play school. This was like their answer to the Fisher-Price Little People, which is what this is. This was their, and this doesn't show up very much, these like more square pieces. So this should do decent. Down here I have these like make your own Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. I got 2 of these sets. So we'll see how those are gonna go. This is some albums, and then I got a bunch of these framed pictures, but like I said, their stuff was not the best. You can see the staining on there. But they all have this 69 on the back. So I would assume this was part of a set and not that they framed something themselves. I got both of these that are these Tupperware kids play sets. There was one, I don't know if I have the one, maybe that one has the cake taker that seems to be more. This down here was like a straw, like angel figure set. It's all made out of straw for Christmas. This bag like has just like all the little outfits and stuff for strawberry shortcake. There's like pieces to the house for strawberry shortcake. So I'm gonna go through and look. I may lot up quite a bit, maybe sell the stuff that's a little bit more expensive. Like I said, there's a Mickey Playhouse here. That's a Cabbage Patch. Like you could buy the outfits. That was just to buy like diapers for them. This bag kind of like ripped open. I have some of this kids dish set from Strawberry Shortcake. Oh, there it is. outfits for them or Cabbage Patch dolls. This may be Holly Hobby. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to figure that one out. I don't know if the hair's been cut or if that's just kind of messed up. Oh, I got a leaf or something in it. Look at that. Let's see, like other stuff was played with really hard. Like I'm gonna have to really do some cleanup. Like even this dollhouse or the Fisher Price set. I don't know if you can see the dirt and grime on there. So this is what I have. I really know. Oh, the item that I think was one of the big items. I have 12 different ones of these Burger King Disney glasses. And these were selling for like $115, $110 for the set. And they didn't even have the boxes. So I'm thinking, and all of mine are in the boxes there. So that is going to easily pay for part of it. And these Fisher Price houses, I easily can sell for like 50 or so. So I think between these and the glasses, because I do have quite a few Fisher Price little people. I don't know if they're all for the house or if they were just a mix. But I think those two things alone are going to pay for the whole lot. So I will be back and I'll let you know how I made out. I just said I would be back with the values and the toys, but I lied. Because today's mission is to get through all those shiny bright ornaments that I bought for $30 at that moving sale. I think my mission on that is I wound up counting out, I have like 3 listings worth of clip-on candles that are glass ornaments. I have some others that are like Santa, there's like 4 to a box, like figural kind of ones. I probably have 2 or 3 lots worth of those that I plan on listing. And then I had 19 boxes that has a dozen ornaments in them of shiny bright or equivalent kind of ornaments. And I'm going to allow myself to keep 2 boxes, what I'm saying now. Let's see if that's true. So that'll give me 17 boxes that I plan to sell. On today's mission is I just want to put them in the Facebook group that has that level of a clientele that wants to buy that stuff. And I'm going to have to reorganize because some of them have the stuff. You know, there's like a pink bell in this one with a white ornament. Like, I want to get all the pink bells back together, all the red bells together. We'll see how many of those I have. And my goal is I'd like to get between $35 and $50 a dozen. So we'll see if that's possible. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get them into Flipwise because I think I'm going to just do them unless I don't get any bids. But I just, right now I'm not failing to entertain that. My thing is that they're selling through that group. We'll see. So I will get back through that, and when I do my wrap-up video at the end of the week, because today, like I said, is only Thursday, there's a really good estate sale being listed for tomorrow, and I mean, my car is still full from yesterday. Like, I don't know. I had a great night of sales last night. I mean, they just kept coming in. I have to get back to the house now. I have invoices to send out because I got some of my own personal craft stuff that I put up. I just want to get it liquidated. It's been there for a couple of years, and it was like I'd put it up and it would sit there for a week, and then it was like I'd have to redo the listings because I sold stuff out of it, and it was just life, you know, life. Aren't you there with me on life? So I got it all reorganized. It's in the way that I know how I can efficiently and quickly get through it. I want to blow it out, so I have invoices to do for that, and a lot going on in it. I'm just crazy. I'm here now to bring you the wrap-up video from 8/5 to August 11th, 2024, and I'm going to briefly go through and touch on some of these things. I'm not going to necessarily bring you like the top 10 or whatever. I'm going to bring you some things that I want to give you some thought ideology behind so that you can also make it useful in your own business. The lowest selling item for this week were these 2 heart-shaped ornaments, and I brought up last week something from the same sale where I just picked up random things that were helping bulk up my purchase so that I could look for a bulk pricing on that. These particular ornaments, I knew they were good quality in the way they were made. They're not just necessarily Valentine's Day, but you could use them at Christmas or even year-round. The beading on them was exceptional. The quality of them were nice. They were going to be shipped very easily. So there was a lot of things going for them, and I only had 50 cents into these. I was able to take an offer on them of $14. I sold them in 18 days. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I feel like I'm going to just briefly go through some of what this is, what you're seeing from this flip wise, and then in the future I'll just give you what my net return was. This is a total combined of $18 was the sale, which is $14 for the purchase price and $4 I charged for shipping. The next line says it took 18 days to sell. The fixed final value fee, I believe, is an eBay fee, and I gotta look it up. I believe that's there for them doing the collection of your funds. The final value fee is a commission that you pay for them for making the sale on their marketplace, and that's $2.36. Their next line, if it was sold through a sponsored ad, would be the next line, and this fly is going to get it. The next line is the cost to ship was $4.38, and the net return is $10.36. Below that's going to be your ROI and your net profit if you want to be interested in looking at those. Over to the left is going to be what is considered the product details, and bottom of the screen I show where it says 50 cents is what was allocated to this item for the particular purchase price of this item. So this item, like I said, very quickly sold, got a decent markup for it. One of the next items I want to bring up was I brought in this Disney doll. This was another one that I added to a purchase to make it a more bulk pricing. And I know Disney, I know the dolls, I know the plush, they tend to do pretty decent. And I only paid $1 for this. This was at a yard sale that had a bunch of primitives, so it was kind of surprising to me that they had this. But you know, like I said, had a lot of things going for it. I was able to sell this in about a month, and after all the fees and stuff came out, I had $12.11. So I take a look that $1 in a month turned into 12. So this was not a bad purchase. Keep in mind these kind of things when you're there. Can you make them more advantageous to get yourself a bundle going? Here's another item that I brought in. This was from a thrift store, and it was this Vineyard Vines, which is supposed to be this, desirable brand. It also had the Philadelphia Eagles with it, which to me, I've said before, I try to do things that have more than one selling feature. This had two. I paid $6.99 for it. I sat on it for almost a month, and after everything was said and done, I brought back another $6.99. So I doubled my money. I don't think I'm going to be really going after this brand unless it's really cheap in the future. Even having that extra selling feature to it, I don't see me doing too much. Another item, this was bought purely on how nice it was constructed. It has a brand of Oppenheim Collins. I have no idea that brand at all. I did not find much in my research. I bought this based on the style of it and the color, and it was 50 cents. This was one I bought at a sale the day before the community sale in Lancaster. And like I said, purely bought it on, it was like a eggplant color, the made in England. It was very well constructed. And I just said, you know what, there was a lot of things about it. A lot of people looking at it. Someone finally bought it after 6 days for the full value of $17.95. With my 50 cents and all the other things taken out, I still came back with $15.64. So not huge sales, but they start trickling in and becoming a raging river before you know it when you get your multiple streams of income coming in. One of the other items was like this Longaberger basket. This is an item that had been selling in the past. I had it, had been sitting in my house forever. I was so happy to get rid of it. This is a brand that you kind of have to understand and know. There is still desirable stuff, but you have to do your research. They sell a lot of this pieces a la carte, like the lid is sold separately. This fabric liner is sold separately. Inside of this is a plastic protector. Those are all a la carte. So this did bring a profit of $17.33. I do believe I paid maybe $2 or $3 for this in the past, and I did not put that into this equation. So there is still some decent money. It's still easy to ship. So maybe that's something you want to take into consideration. Some of my other sales were personal stuff, like this camera that I'm selling for parts, and this piece from my dish set that I got in a box of a bulk lot I bought off of Facebook. My next thing is this Ralph Lauren kids puffer coat. This was purchased in the community sale in Lancaster for $1. I just bring this up because you have to look at some of the kids' clothes. There is still some desirable stuff in there. This was the only thing I found at her sale that was of interest to me. I paid $1. It took 4 days to sell, and I made it. I sold it on an offer of $30. So I even undercut myself in the shipping. It cost $9.49. I only charged $7. And still, after all of that, I was left with a net return of $20.40. So $1 in 4 days turned to 20. I can't complain on that. One of the other items that you should take a look at when you're out is, can you find things like the toys in lots? This is something called crybabies. Never heard of them until I was out to these community sales. All I noticed is there was a bunch of these things all together. They were selling them for $5, and I put them out there, and they were there for 2 weeks, 15 days exactly, and sold on an offer $30. Probably could have got more if I had waited closer to Christmas, but to me, I'd rather take my 5, turn it into 25, and be happy with that and move on. So there was a considerable amount of excess shipping I mistakenly charged because I wasn't weighing stuff, but I know when people make offers that they take into consideration their shipping while they're coming up with their offer. So I didn't feel that I was going to need to do a refund. They left glowing reviews. I know that, compared to what some of the other offers out there and other items were, that this was still a fair price even with that shipping cost put in there. So I was happy to make that sale and free up some space. Then my second highest and sixth highest and my third highest have to be considered together because this was the same buyer, and this was the sale that was a moving sale, and there was 2 boxes of stuff, and they were all like these mice and cheese figures on top, and I bought it for $10. When I got it home, a lot of the mice and cheese were not something of value to sell, but these cats. Oh, these cats. So this particular one was listed, these sold in 3 hours. She put an offer in for $40 on this one. And after, this is a little confusing to take a look at because they did the 2 together and I had to do a refund because they paid full value of shipping and I was able to combine it for a cheaper rate. You will notice I put a purchase price of 26 cents in there for this. I do allocate out based on how many listings and how many pieces and stuff. And this particular listing left me with $32.52. So we're just going to say there's $32 from this one. And the third highest item, I took an offer of $60 in 2 hours for this item. After everything was taken into effect, I had to split the shipping up between the 2. I was left with a net return of $55. So $55 and $32 left me with $87. Very phenomenal. This was the most surprising of stuff to me. I mentioned that these figurines were all different. There was different stylations, different manufacturers. I could not figure out for the longest time what they're doing. The only thing I can think of is it was like stylations of cats, and it must have been like a cat of the month club or something. I have no idea because none of them all looked the same. So those did phenomenal for just some random pickup that I did. The fourth highest sale was this item was, again, something has been in my basement. I bought it at yard sales years ago. I knew it was desirable. I was going to get some value out of it. I wasn't until I picked up some of these little figurines that I made the decision to finally get it up and get it listed. I put 2 of them in there. I allocated $2 to this from the purchase of when I bought the little kids. I probably have maybe another $2 in there for the Ferris wheel. I got back $34.41. I'm surprised it took almost a month to sell because this is a much, much older piece. It's probably from the late 60s, early 70s, and it does still work. So this was a real good, feel-good piece too, because I felt like, I was rescuing this old vintage piece, and the people were very, very happy to get that. So the second highest selling item was another one of these Bath and Body Works items. As I've mentioned in the past, they're just not worth it to me for the time right now that's needed for the retail arbitrage. I got $55 for this one. Last week I got my full value of $59.99, and it's still, like I said, was just a lot of cash outlay, a lot of trying to keep track of what the sales and all the rewards and stuff were. It's not something I can feasibly do right now. I have hundreds of dollars still tied up in other product that came out with these same collections that have not sold. So those will be going back. But this particular item, I did still almost pretty much double my money. I can't complain, but it's just a decision of how I can spend my time for the most impact and money right now. And then my highest selling item was something that was from the business that I don't think you will ever see in the marketplace. So I won't even bring that up. But I'm hoping you're getting some good content out of this. I'm hoping that it's giving you some inspiration or some thoughts and ideas of how to, revamp or include into your business. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you could down below. Also leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking of the content, what you'd like for me to improve on or include. And I would really, really appreciate it if you could subscribe down below. That would help me grow my channel, but it would also give you some input when my next videos come up. So I will say bye for now, and we'll catch you next week. See ya.